Here we go. Yes, people. What's going on, everybody on YouTube, on Eagle Talks Football? We're back again with another video. As everyone probably fell asleep in that Chelsea game before they started scoring goals. Shout out to all you guys. How you guys doing? Of course, this is not about all the other Premier League games. I'll save that for Sunday for Vibes from the 6th. But of course, if you guys want to touch on the Chelsea game, we can talk about that. But right now, we're here to preview the Arsenal game versus Fulham tomorrow at the Emirates versus Fulham. As you guys know, Gabriel Magalhaes loves a goal versus Fulham. Do you think he's going to start in this game, as he did not start the first two Premier League games? We're also going to talk about, is Gabriel Jesus going to be back in the squad, as he is now back fit and available in the training, and he has traveled, as Team News Tix has spoken about him traveling with the team. And also, we got some outgoings. Unfortunately, very sad. Kieran Tierney, Fulham Balogun, and we've got a potential incoming in January in Ivan Toney. So there's so much to talk about. But welcome to the channel. Hopefully you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Gunnar Souls, how you doing, bro? Welcome back on the channel. How you feeling, bro?
I'm really good, man. Looking forward to tomorrow. Bank holiday weekend, so we get 3 days of sleep, not just 2. So yeah, man, I can't complain. Life's good.
There you go. Arsenal will lose. I think you're projecting your hatred for Arsenal and not an actual sensible prediction right there. But before we go any further, bro, have you seen all this? Have you seen all the movement in the transfer window for Arsenal, bro? Because it seems like everybody's going every which way, left, right, center. There's just players moving everywhere. And for me, it was like, yo, so fast. Everything was just happening so fast, because it seemed like Balogun was not going to go anywhere for a little while, and then boom, he's gone. What's this? Oh, okay. I just seen a picture of a guy from Southampton who moved to Germany. So, but if you guys don't know, an hour ago it was officially confirmed. Here you go. Everything's done. Balogun is going to Monaco for around 40 million euros plus add-ons. I thought it was 45. What happened? The price changed? Anyways.
Well, yeah, it was 50 to 60 million, wasn't it, originally?
I don't know. He just tweeted out, Fabrizio Romano said something that it's about an hour ago, that it's only 40 million. Let me show you. Where is it? Balogun. Here we go. So yeah, here we go. Balogun, complete deal agreed. 40 million plus add-ons included. Arsenal will also retain a significant sell-on clause. That is massive part of the deal right there, that we're going to get a significant sell-on clause. Medical test expected this weekend. Long-term deal for Balogun to head to Monaco. So I guess this is where we have to begin the video. It's sad, but the reality is, I am not going to cry over the sale of Fulham Balogun. If he does well in France, I wish him the best. I hope he does well. And a lot of people who are going to point at him doing well at France and be like, see, we could have used him at Arsenal. But I just think it was a situation where he always wanted a move this window, and the club were willing to get him that move. And it was clear that the way that he wasn't utilized in the preseason, that he was always going to get a move. So I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to be upset over it. I'm not going to look at Balogun, or I'm not going to look at Balogun's performances in the French league and say, oh, they could have translated to this Arsenal team. All I'm going to say is I wish the guy the best of luck, and Arsenal have sold him for a reason. We have our reasons, and you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know what, it's a big miss for us to sell him, because I'm hearing people saying we're selling our best striker, we're selling one of our best academy projects. You know what? Your academy is made to make you money, and this is an Arsenal record sale in the transfer market. So I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it, and if it means we go on and get a Victor Osimhen, an Evan Ferguson, or Ivan Toney in the future, we're better off for it. So there you go. What are you saying?
No, I agree. I mean, I do want him to stay, and I do want him to be given an opportunity, like, you know, when he first obviously came back from loan. But I do think at the same time we need to understand that there is a planning process. There is, you know, a reason why we need to sell him, to bring other players in that are probably going to improve the squad, probably more than Balogun. Like, clearly there must have been communication from Arteta to Balogun to explain the situation, how he's going to be kind of ease his way into the team, you know, such as same as Saliba must have had them chats, you know, the same as any of these players that have been bought in by Arteta, Reece Nelson as an example as well. And I think there's an element of Balogun's probably disagreed with the way that Arteta wants to, bring him into the squad. I understand the mentality of wanting first team football, wanting to break into that team, but you can see it. Arsenal have been the hub for young players and breaking players through into this first team the majority of the Premier League has. So he should have just bided his opportunity, in my opinion. But at the same time, when you're getting a bid of 40 to 50 million pounds, and including obviously with the sell-on clause, if that's, we don't know what the percentage is, but if it's significant, I'm assuming it's 20 to 40% of a sell-on clause. So when you're looking at that kind of money and the potential to earn money as well, especially Monaco have sold players for a huge fee. I think it's smart business. The reality of the question should be, do we have an opportunity for Florian Balogun to play consistently? And the answer is right now, no. So it makes sense to either sell him with a sell-on clause, with a buyback option, and just let him flourish.
Yeah, 100%. The thing that it's not rocket science that we have to get rid of players. Our squad size is so big that we're going to have to get rid of players, and those players that we're going to be getting rid of are pretty clear. Kieran Tierney is one of them. Balogun is another one of them. Pepe is another one of them. Cedric, Holding, Lokonga, Nuno Tavares. These are the names that we're going to be most likely getting out of the team. Is because these are the names that are not training with the first team. So I've always was prepared for this sale to happen. And people who are saying, why did we keep Eddie? Why did we keep Eddie? Why didn't we sell Eddie? Eddie's already ingrained into the team. He's part of the squad. He understands his role. He's cool with it, and it's more or less he's part of the day-to-day first team. Where Balogun would need to be put into that team, understand his role, be patient for his time. And to me, maybe I don't think this is a wild assumption. To me, it also seemed like Balogun and his agent seen it for the best move for his career to try to see him move away this summer. I don't think they're willing to sit and be third or fourth choice for a season, especially when he's the number one for the United States national team, and he's just had such a great season in France. So it makes so much sense. And the best part about it, we didn't sell him to another Premier League team, because if we would have sold him to Fulham, if we would have sold him to Chelsea or Tottenham, we would hear about him every single day. So I'm happy he's gone and left the country too. Same way that Kieran Tierney has also left the country. So we're gonna have to talk about Kieran Tierney next. But yeah, how you feeling about? Let's see what people in the chat are saying, because there is a lot of hoopla around the two transfers today. But the Kieran Tierney one was one that kind of, I don't get it slightly. What I don't understand is, why would we loan him away? Why wouldn't we just sell him straight up? Do you understand why we loaned Kieran Tierney? It doesn't make sense. My prediction, why stream when never fell into as well. Bro, it's the only time I could stream, unfortunately. I couldn't wait till like 11. I'm going to sleep because I'm tired, man. It's terrible timing. I know. It's terrible timing. I completely get that, Mata. Man, Luna, I get it. Big up, though. I definitely try to avoid streaming at the same time as Never Foul or the Football Terrace at the same time, or even some of the other channels that are friends of the shows. Like I don't like streaming at the same time as Husam or Big Six Bands, but it is what it is. Sometimes, unfortunately, you're going to stream. It's just we're covering completely different topics. They're both covering the Chelsea game. I'm covering the Arsenal game. So I'd assume some of the Arsenal fans would want to come over here and hear us talk about the Arsenal team. So yeah, Kieran Tierney will be traveling to Spain on Saturday in order to join Real Sociedad on loan from Arsenal. Medical's booked. Everything's up. Here we go. Confirmed. What do you got to say on this, man?
I like it. I think that there's probably a few elements of why we've done this, because the one thing is we value Toney at maybe 30 million, 40 million, maybe even a bit more. And a lot of clubs, because of the injury record that Kieran Tierney's had or the lack of game time he's had, they're probably valuing it less because they feel like it's a higher risk investment if we bring him in and he does keep having these injuries. To pay 30 to 40 million pounds for a player like that is probably a risk for them. So what Arsenal have done is probably the smart thing to do. Number one, they'll find out how fit Toney is and whether he can last a season in, let's be honest, a less intense league. And number two, it'll give an opportunity for potential buyers to see, okay, Kieran Tierney is able to stay fit. He is able to play a season. And you know what? Let's go in for him. So I do think there could be a smart, but it could go disastrously wrong, and he's always injured. which is what we've been suffering with, where he has been injury prone. So that's the way I see it. I think I understand the perspective of loaning him out because we do have too many players who can play that position. And unfortunately, when you look at the list of defenders we have, Kieran Tierney is the least fitted to the system that we have. So he was always going to leave eventually once the system started flourishing. But it's just unfortunate when we're in the Champions League, when you need a game-changing player. Kieran Tierney could have helped us, but I hope him all the good. But I think this is it. Like, I don't think this is a loan. You come back and you get to play for Arsenal again. I think this is goodbye.
Okay. Everyone in the chat, let me know what you guys think, because this is extremely sad. This is sad in the sense because he's a fan favorite. He's a player who was one of the guys who kind of held us up as we were in the mud. He's one guy who you could look at and say, you know what, even though we're poor, when we're going up against a really good left winger, we got Kieran Tierney. We're good. North London derbies, we got Kieran Tierney. On the right side, we're freaking out. But on the left side, whenever we're facing against a good right winger like Mo Salah or something, we're like, you know what? At least we got Kieran Tierney, only guy who can hold it down. When Nuno Tavares went in there, you've seen the problems that we had. So under Emery, under Mikel Arteta, those times when we were finishing 8th and 8th, there was one guy we could look at and be like, you know what, I'm proud of him, and I would put him in conversation as one of the best in the league. So I was really happy with that. People saying Liga to Real Sociedad, here we go. You know what? Liga and some of those Arteta out fans are extremely angry at the potential of getting rid of Kieran Tierney, and they're saying with Timber's injury, getting rid of Kieran Tierney is suicidal. But my question to you is, if he can't get a game over Tomiyasu, if he can't get a game over some of these guys, and we're not sending him to a Premier League rival in Newcastle, are you okay with him going on loan? Because personally, for me, I still don't get why we sent him on loan. We should have just sold him or kept him. So I get the logic in why people.
The other problem is that we need to get rid of personnel to bring people in. I understand Timber's getting injured, frees up a spot, but the reality is there's too many players. We've got too many defensive players. And the thing is, I do think they'll end up bringing something in, because we've got the sale of Balogun, which is going to generate you 40 million euros, which is about 35 million pounds. Then you've got obviously Kieran Tierney. We're only paying for a portion of his fees anyway, so you're freeing up the wages there. And then obviously you've got 2 personnel that have left the club. That allows you to bring players in. We're already too stacked. We can't even have key players on the substitute benches for squad days. For squad matches. So what makes us think that, us having Kieran Tierney there and then bringing another defender in, that's just going to hamper Kieran Tierney. I understand the sort of sentiment that people have, but it's time to be ruthless. At the end of the day, as much as I love Kieran Tierney, he's not fitted to the system. He's not fitted to moving forward. He's another option. He's another plan that we can implement. But the reality is, Arteta doesn't give a crap. He wants to play his way. He wants to change games his way. And the problem with Kieran Tierney is he's one-dimensional. When you ask him to do a different role, he can't do it. You have to take him off. Whereas with the players that you can evidently see Arteta bringing in, all you do is you can ask them to change the way they play. Look at Partey, for example, plays right back, plays midfield. Look at Timbers, plays on the left, plays on the right, plays inverted. He can overlap. He can do those 2 things as well. When you look at Tomiyasu, a very good defensive, fullback when you need that option. And that's the problem. We've got too many players who are more superior than Kieran Tierney, and that's why he's losing out. It's not because he's a bad player. It's just simply because we've moved away from that. And it's going to be the same at Man City. Like, look at Kyle Walker. He will be phased out of this team, and he is being phased out of the team. You're looking at 4 centre-backs playing in front of him. You're looking at John Stones playing in front of him. And Kyle Walker gets the odd game here and there. For his age, that's perfect. But Kieran Tierney is 25. He wants to play. You've got the Euro qualifiers coming up. You've got, the potential for them to go into the Euros and a good Scotland setup. So for me, for his own career benefit, the same things we say about Balogun, I say about Kieran Tierney. It benefits him just as much as it benefits Arsenal. And it's sad to see him go, but I get it.
Now that Kudos is heading to West Ham, who are we expecting? This is an interesting take. I don't know if there's much more incomings coming in. And if they are, They might be surprises. They might be surprises. We don't. Sorry about that. Damn. Anyways, do you get what I'm saying? Who do you think could?
So I reckon, if anything, there'll be one more. But
Who?
that's the thing. I don't know. But if I'm being real, I think everything's going to lead up to January now. I think what the plan's going to be is the squad is ready to survive till January, and then we'll revisit what we need to do. And that's the way I see it anyway. I think when you look at it, we've got an international break coming up. That's going to take us all the way to September anyway. And then we've got a few games in September. The real heavy impacting games are going to come after January anyway. And it looks like when you look at the news reports, we're looking at Ivan Toney, for example, it looks like we've already targeted players that we want to sign in January or come the winter window. So it's not like Arsenal have stopped. It's not like the rumours have stopped. It's not like they're not trying to work on the next window already. We've bought in a lot of players. We have a lot of players. And it's time to start using those players first and then seeing what we need to do. Because the problem is we can keep bringing players in that doesn't guarantee success. What we need to do is identify where the squad's at and what is actually vital. Because we can sit here and go, Bukayo Saka replacement. We've got one in Reece Nelson. You don't like it. That's a different story. But there is cover for him.
You know, when you look at next? Do we have Manchester United next after Fulham?
Yes, that's next week. Sunday.
Okay. So we're going to talk about Ivan Toney in a second. By the way, Manchester United could be going up against Arsenal and Bukayo Saka's right side with no left back. Malasia's injured, Luke Shaw's injured, and they're looking at Ryan Bertrand as the potential incoming signing. And they're also looking at Ashley Young. Bro, take that in. Like, we were looking at Man United as potential threats. We were looking at Liverpool as potential threats. We were looking at Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle. Once again, we find ourselves in a situation where it's just us and City, really and truly. I don't think anyone else is near us. So can we say we can find that signing to get us to the next level? Because I think this is it. Everyone in the chat is talking about Osimhen or Ivan Toney. I think it's Ivan Toney because brace yourself. Brentford are bracing for an Ivan Toney bid in January, expecting valuation of around 80 million. As minimal bid is expected to be among multiple bids are expected to be among the interested parties. Arsenal are one of them. Sources are close to Toney believe that the potential move to a top 6 club and expects him to leave Brentford this summer before the ban in May. But
they expected him to leave this summer, but then the ban came in.
Yeah, so now that the ban has happened, it's most likely going to be run out in summer of 2015. I don't think it's going to happen in 2025. I think in January they could get the move. But 80 million for Ivan Toney, I'm just going to say I was laughed at when I said Ivan Toney to Arsenal on numerous occasions. I've said Ivan Toney to Arsenal for years, like 2 years. Before we signed Jesus, I was saying let's get Ivan Toney, and people were looking at me like, Ivan Toney at the camp now? Like, are you crazy? Now people are like, yo, bring him. I want him. I remember I was laughed at on the terrace. I remember people were saying, what do you call it? I was saying, remember when we wanted look at this. This was May 2nd. May 2nd. I'm gonna just show you the amount of times I spoke about Ivan Toney on my account. So this is just my account, right? So yesterday I posted the video of them laughing at me about saying Ivan Toney. I'm just gonna say this. I've thought this player is a really good player, and a lot of people probably don't rate him to the level I rate him to. But Liverpool, I seen their link to Ivan Toney. I think he'd be the perfect Roberto Firmino replacement.
No way.
You guys are laughing.
What? No.
You guys are laughing.
I like Toney. I like him. I like him.
You guys are laughing, but when it comes to technical ability, passing, when it comes to actual link up, everything.
Toney does not have that Firmino pass in his locker. He doesn't, or that link up.
Like, you're getting upset, Hussam. Wallahi, I genuinely would take him at Arsenal over Gabriel Jesus.
Hang on.
I stood by that. People were even angry at me for saying I would take him over Jesus at the time. They're like, you're crazy. You take Ivan Toney over Jesus. Do you know who Jesus is? But I rate Jesus, but in the same time, I would still take Ivan Toney. So far, have I said any lies?
No, I wouldn't take him over Jesus, but I would take him at Arsenal, yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
You're Arsenal. We're Liverpool, bro. We ain't the same. We ain't the same. Don't apply your standards to me. I'm trying to win Prem. I'm trying to win Champ. You're trying to qualify. I'm not. I want to win the thing you're trying to qualify.
You want a Roberto Firmino replacement. This is somebody who's already playing in the Premier League and is a good
Firmino don't even start. He ain't replacing Firmino. He's replacing Mane, bro.
Okay, then you can't replace Mane. Anyways, I find it funny now that we're in the title race and they're the ones struggling to get top four, right? We also had Kevin Campbell come on the show, talk about Lukaku, Vlahovic, and Ivan Toney as potential signings. He also had the previous thing where he spoke about Arsenal before he joined the Premier League.
It's mad interesting. Until they get a striker.
What? Till they get a striker?
I'll play.
What are you trying to say, Ivan? Okay, we'll talk about it off camera. Okay.
So that's another situation where he spoke about Arsenal. I said in May 02. I mean May last year. I said we should get May this year. Was it this year? I said we should get no, this was last year, I think. Anyways, May 2nd, I said we should go get Guehi, Toney, Declan Rice, and Caicedo. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of these two guys, but we're okay with Timber and Caicedo. You know, he went to Chelsea, but imagine I still think we can get Declan Rice and thing. We know about the infamous F Brentford, so you don't care too much. But yeah, July 15th was the first time I heard about rumors of him going to Chelsea in January. So that could still happen if he goes to Chelsea in January, but I hope it doesn't. And then, yeah, Sharky talking about him. What else is there? Yeah, Ivan Toney Fantasy League. They don't miss him. They don't really miss him. And Mbueba's just stepped up. Brentford don't really miss him. So, and then what else is there? That's pretty much it. How much is Ivan Toney worth to Brentford? Should Arsenal go for him instead of a forward to replace Aubameyang? This was 2022. Look at that. And I'm telling you, back then people were probably laughing. People saying yes. Oh, you know what? Some people saying yes. Anyways, let's get into it, bro. Talk to me. Ivan Toney, what are you feeling?
Do you know what it is? I've become more profile over name. I don't really look at it's Ivan Toney. I look at what is Ivan Toney. So when you look at it from that perspective, he's perfect for what we want to do, especially when plan A in Gabriel Jesus is not working. And that's going to happen in the Premier League. That's going to happen in the Champions League. That's going to happen in cup games when you need to get a bit more of a target man. You're going to need a bit more of a person who's got a bit more presence. And you can see it now. Arteta's doing that with Kai Havertz, who's, in my opinion, not naturally gifted in the central positions of being a striker or a false nine. For me, he is that left centre mid. He is that player to play off of second striker. And when you bring someone like Ivan Toney in and you pair him, or even Gabriel Jesus and pair him with Ivan Toney, you're going to start to see more goals. You're going to see a bit more threat coming in. The one thing you cannot deny is how clinical Ivan Toney can be in front of goal. He has taken on pressure moments. He's taken Brentford from, a very, from the Championship to the Premier League and actually still maintained the standards. He scored, 20 goals or something last season, something like that. He scores a ridiculous amount of goals, for a player that plays in, let's be honest, an inferior team. And he's 25, 26, so he's still going to get the peak of Ivan Toney. I understand people want Victor Osimhen. I understand, people want, the name and the flashy names, but that's not what Arsenal do. Arsenal look at profiles and who's going to fit their system and Arteta loves a Prem-proven player. That's the difficulty that we're going to have to get around is Arteta on multiple occasions has said, I want someone who's done it in the Premier League and who's better right now in terms of a Prem-proven striker other than Haaland, because that's the only other player you can sit there and go, and obviously Harry Kane is the other one, but he's just gone to Bayern Munich. So the third best striker in terms of proven in the Premier League to score goals is who? Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it now, he obviously becomes second because Harry Kane's gone. So the only attainable is Ivan Toney. He's the best attainable player that's got Premier League experience. And also, guess what happened? Because we didn't strengthen enough in January last season, we lost the league title. They're looking to make up for that mistake. The only qualm I have is he's not going to play football for 6 months or from his ban to January. So that's the difficulty. That's the hard part, because how fit is he going to be and how ready is he going to be? But I'm all for it. I'll be honest, I wasn't at first, but the more you start to understand Arteta, you understand the system, you understand the profile. I'm for the profile. I don't really care it's Ivan Toney. It could be anything. You could tell me some guy from the depths of Brazil. But if the profile fits that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Jum'ah Mubarak to my brother right here. Of course, make sure you do hit that like button. Funny how those standards is now Hussam is a fraud. You know, Hussam's my boy, great, cool guy. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel. Just hit 20K too. I mean, like Mbappe, not because we're broke. I don't know if we're gonna get Mbappe, bro. Big up the Fantasy Pavilion. Hope you're doing well, bro. I started off my fantasy week quite well, by the way. I got 12 points, 2 Chelsea defenders in my team. Shameless plug right there. I've been so unlucky, bro. I finally feel like maybe my luck turned around in fantasy this week, hopefully. But yeah, let's continue. So we're done with all that stuff. Is there anything else that really is going on today with transfer with Arsenal? Surely there's no other news. It has to be just all the Balogun stuff and everything else. Nothing is going on with Pepe. Pepe is not in the first team. Arteta. Oh, you know what is going on? Did you see the Mike Dean stuff?
Yeah, well, I read the quotes. I've not watched any videos or anything.
Mike Dean needs to be, you know what? I usually say Mike Dean's a fraud. But today, what I'm going to say is Mike Dean needs to be protected. He is spilling the tea on how bad the refereeing is in the Premier League. How come you're not talking about tomorrow's game? We're going to talk about tomorrow's game right after this, I promise you. So yeah, just big up Mike Dean. I'm just going to say he said he missed a stupid hair pull versus the Chelsea game at Tottenham, and he didn't want Anthony Taylor to go over to the screen because he didn't want him to get more grief. Then that led to the PGMOL giving out a statement regarding his video and saying that they're going to do more training and something basically denying this ever happened. So I think Mike Dean needs to be protected. I need to see him in more podcasts. And let's get into the match preview. You got anything else to say on that?
Are we surprised? No. That's all I've got to say. I'm not surprised.
Go. We're not surprised. It is
you know what it is, though? It's good that someone said it, because maybe us as fans were going insane, conspiracy theories, tinfoil hat. But no, it's reality. The man are shit at their jobs. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Now let's get into some of these questions. First things first, we got to talk about the game. Is Gabriel Magalhaes going to start?
If Zinchenko is fully fit, he will start.
You believe so?
If Zinchenko plays. Otherwise, no.
The only way you have Gabriel Magalhaes playing is if Zinchenko plays. Is that accurate?
Because Timber's out. There's no one else. If Tomiyasu can't play. But if we have to play... The only reason why I'd say yes, he does start, because we've got no options really, because... So, yeah. But the reality is that when Zinchenko or someone who can invert from the left plays, that's when you're not going to see Gabriel Magalhaes play. When we've got the right-hand side inverting, that's when Gabriel comes out of it. And that's the way the system is going to balance itself out.
No, but for me, Gabriel Magalhaes has scored a goal against them in every game. He's played against them since his career has started. So
can I reverse time and change my fantasy team?
I think Gabriel Magalhaes should start this weekend. And I think he should be one of the first teams named in the team sheet. They're usually a physical team. They usually have Mitrovic. I get that, but this time they don't have Mitrovic. But I think Gabriel Magalhaes should start this weekend. He scored against Fulham away, at home, 3 games successive. He scored his first debut game at the Emirates against Fulham when we still had Aubameyang and Lacazette. He scored last year. He made a mistake. The year before that, he made a mistake, and then he made up for it. And scored the goal. I think that was last year at home at the Emirates. And then away last year in the black kit, he scored a goal also. So I absolutely think he should start. With Tomiyasu's suspension, I would still have Ben White at right back. What I would do is I hope Zinchenko is fit and available, and I put Zinchenko in the team. My back four is the same back four as last year. It would be Ramsdale, then Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White. That's my team. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Gabriel. Yeah, same defense. That's the best defense we have, even when given everyone's fit. It's the most fluid and the most functional in terms of how we want to progress the board as well. Obviously, we'll get onto our midfields and stuff in a moment, but that kind of will explain why the midfield choice I've got.
Yeah, but so you do agree with me slightly, but you're saying it's dependent on Zinchenko. I'm just saying, even if Zinchenko's not there, Kavior is there.
I feel like I feel like with the situation, because of how many the injury and the suspension, Gabriel probably is like 99% chances are he starts. But let's say if the team was fit, I feel like it's contingent on Zinchenko, whether Gabriel, or if we're inverting from the left-hand side. If we're inverting on the left, Gabriel Magalhaes definitely plays. If we're inverting on the right-hand side, that's when Gabriel will be dropped.
But what about the fact that he scored 3 goals in 4 games?
Don't matter. Those facts don't matter when the system becomes imbalanced, because you can only score those goals if the system is there to be functional. But if we then start to misbalance or start putting lineups that aren't going to work with the system, then it's not going to matter to Arteta. He doesn't play the game because you've scored goals, so I'm going to play you, or we're going to concede 10. It doesn't make sense to him.
He loves a goal versus Fulham. That's all I'm saying. I get your logic.
I don't think he cares. That sentiment of like, oh, you scored goals, nice, but we're not going to concede 3, 4, or like potentially win it in 90 minutes or go 0-0 because we have to play you because you scored. That's not the way he thinks, and that's the way I don't think either. You're a defender, but we need the team to be balanced, and that's how it is always going to be. If the team balance is there, then yes, he'll play. But I don't think he looks at, oh, historically he's played good against this team, so let's play.
Okay, fair enough. People in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys agree with? Honestly, you can't say either of us are wrong in this situation. It's just which way do you look at it? I personally want Gabriel Magalhaes. Selfishly, he's in my fantasy team, so I also want him to do well from that perspective. And of course, he's a fan favorite. But I'm not going to take it to the level and say Mikel Arteta doesn't know what he's doing. Why is he not playing like some people are? I think that's kind of taking it overboard slightly. But yeah, I think Gabriel Magalhaes definitely should start. And that's just my take on that. Let's get into the next thing. Eddie Nketiah. Should Eddie start up top? What are we saying with Eddie Nketiah? Because his work rate and his effort has been huge for us. Eddie Nketiah has been a big play for us. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section as you get onto Eddie Nketiah. Most of the people saying Trossard. So you will drop Partey because Havertz will start and Rice will. We're getting there. Fulham are bad at defending set pieces. My guy's right, 100%, bro. How do you pronounce his name? It's Ox Mitoma.
The best he's gonna get from me is Oximato.
Oximato. Big up Oximato. I'm gonna try to figure out how to say his name, but big up to him. I always see in the comment section. Big up for the super chat. Really do appreciate it, bro. It helps the channel out massively. Now, a lot of people are saying yes, he starts. It's Fulham. The fuck.
I sometimes get confused. I don't know which point are they a bit behind, or are they talking about what we're talking about?
Okay, so I'm just gonna get my phone out. So we've done the back four. Who's gonna start in the midfield? Who starts in the midfield? If you
Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, easy. Best midfield we have.
Okay, everyone in the comment section, get into it, because you're making it seem like it's so easy. Rice, Odegaard, Havertz. Some people are going to say Rice, Partey. I personally think if Havertz doesn't play in the midfield, he's going to play. He's going to play up top. So I'm putting Ben White back in thing. I don't want Partey playing right back. Do you want Partey playing right back? Let's talk about that for a second.
No, he's not playing right back per se.
He is playing right back.
Playing right back per se.
Bro,
he comes into the double pivot. There's a style to the way they play. It's like Zinchenko. He doesn't play left back. Let's be real. He's not really a left back.
Bro, I want to ask you, what's your thoughts on him being set up as the default, positionally set up as the default right back to start the game?
That doesn't matter to me. I don't care what the default position is. Zinchenko doesn't play the way a left back plays, nor does Thomas Partey play like a right back.
No, but the two things are linked. We just spoke about Gabriel Magalhaes. Now we're speaking about Partey. You're telling me Gabriel Magalhaes, who gets back into this team, what happens with
You have to play Ben White right back. If Gabriel comes into the team, if you're playing Thomas Partey right back, then I'm talking when the team is fully fit. I'm not talking in this situation. We just don't have anyone else to play. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Gabriel Magalhaes, in my opinion. But that's the back line that has to play. And for me, I don't mind him playing right back. I don't think Thomas Partey's that bad when he's played. There's certain situations where it'll actually benefit us having him play in the defense. Call it right back if you want, but he plays into the midfield with Rice, allowing Rice to have the freedom to keep pushing forward. So for me, I don't really look at default positions, and because in game it's completely different. It's just so Sky Sports can make their visuals look nice. That's all.
What's your thoughts on Ben White? If you were to just, do you think he's a better right back or center back? What are you saying?
He's the best right back in the Premier League, without a question.
Right back? What?
Easy, no questions asked.
Don't you think Kieran Trippier last season was better?
Nope.
You don't think Trent, Reece James, no?
Nope.
So
if you're talking overall, historically, when you're talking like that, then that's different. But I'm talking recent form, recent times. Ben White, for me, is the best right back right now. If you're talking on form and stuff, that's a completely different conversation. Like, if you're talking overall, that's a different conversation. But for me, if I'm looking at it right now, easy Ben White's the best right back.
Okay, so if you were to pose it in the question, what's the question? Would you say, is Ben White the best, or is Ben White the most consistent right back? What is it?
I'm just talking over the last season and this kind of season. If you're going to talk over the last 5-6 seasons, I'd probably give it to Trent. But that's a different question. Actually, no, Kyle Walker, sorry. I'll give it to Kyle Walker over the last 6 seasons. But if you're talking last sort of couple of seasons, for me, Ben White, easy.
Ben White, easy. White-Saka partnership is definitely class. Yeah, 100% I agree there. White isn't that fast.
Who cares? He doesn't need to be. Saka wasn't fast, but he was clever. That's the difference.
Yeah. A lot of people saying, okay, so we've spoken about outgoings. We're not going to just keep it on the game. So midfield, you're saying the midfield doesn't change. Or actually, you're saying it does change.
No, because Rice, Odegaard, Havertz.
So you're keeping it the same midfield. Rice, Odegaard, Havertz. So does Partey get into your team?
He can if he played right back.
Is ESR forgotten? No, ESR is still around. He's going to be a big part of the team going forward. Don't worry, bro. What the F? Well, I'm confused. What do people? Is it? Are they behind?
No. It's the Ben White. They clearly don't agree.
So why you starting Havertz?
For me, there's a few reasons why you start Kai Havertz, right? So we've clearly identified Zinchenko's going to play left back, or in this situation, in this lineup, Zinchenko is playing. Now, the one thing that you get, and the reason why we're not seeing the best of Havertz just yet, firstly, he's won the most duels in both games, right? And I kept saying this. I don't understand this whole off-ball movement, the off-ball work rate that people have an agenda against when he is winning his duels. He is winning those aerial battles. He is winning his side of the battle. Now, that's one part of his game that we're seeing. Number two, the reason why I say it, for me, he carries a lot more goal threat. The only problem that we have is Odegaard's the only creative player, or the cutting-edge creative player we have. And when you look at some of the games, Kai Havertz is in so many good positions, so many. The man can have 2 hat-tricks a game if they can just pick him out. But the problem is, because we've had people who don't have that cutting edge in their passes, we're not finding him. But when you carry the Zinchenko's, when you have the Gabriel Jesus's in the team, you're going to start to see I'll tell you now, Kai Havertz, right, if Jesus and Zinchenko can stay fit, right, will get 15 goals a season very, very easily.
Okay, so right now I'm trying to make my lineup. So this is what I have so far. We have Saliba. Next to Saliba, we're putting Gabriel Magalhaes. We're putting Ben White in that team. We're putting left back Zinchenko if he's available. So this is the team that we have so far. You're saying in that midfield role, it's going to be Kai Havertz. So you're putting Kai Havertz in that team over Partey. I think a lot of people in the chat are angry. They're upset. They want Declan Rice. They want Declan Rice Partey midfield versus Fulham at home. Do you
Yeah,
get
because
the
they want
logic?
all their flashy toys on there, innit? They don't want a functional midfield. They just want their flashy toys on there.
What makes you say that? Is it? Don't you think Odegaard with Rice and Partey is going to be a midfield that we use against the bigger
It's
teams?
Fulham. We don't. It's not a Real Madrid. We don't need two defensive-minded midfielders. Look, Declan Rice going forward is good, but Kai Havertz is better. There's a difference. We need to carry our threats through, and that's what we need to do against Fulham. For me, when you look at it, they add a different dimension. Like Havertz will do what Rice can do in the 8 and more. That's the big difference. Whereas for me, Declan Rice being in the 8 in the 6 is a lot better for the team, because what it's going to allow us to do is have two kinds of threats up top. Havertz, we know, is an aerial threat. He can head the ball, and he can apply that pressure that Xhaka has been doing. The thing is, we've been asking for an upgrade on Granit Xhaka, but we just want to play the same player. Declan Rice and Xhaka will have the same types of impact in that 8 role. The problem that we have is we've been begging for an upgrade. We've been begging for a player who's more clinical. We're asking for a player who's got a bit more attacking mind to him. We get an attack-minded player. Nah, let's not play him. Against Fulham, the conversation becomes different when we're playing Man City. When we're playing, those types of teams, it becomes a little bit more different. But the reality is people have been, what it is? People are so clouded by what they've seen at Chelsea that they're not willing to drop that. They want to be so right he's bad that they're not willing to give him a chance to prove himself. It's goddamn Fulham. Like, what do you want? Like, I don't need Partey and Rice. Like, what's the purpose of Partey and Rice against Fulham? What's it going to do? Nothing. But is Havertz going to be a better threat? 100%. And that's the way I see it.
Personally, for me, Mikel Arteta is not going to drop Kai Havertz. He's investing heavily into Kai Havertz, and people don't like it, similar to Granit Xhaka. But do you think he would play him just because he signed him, or do you think he's playing him because he believes he's seeing something positive?
Because, no, it's not even... Look, Arteta will not play you just because you signed. Look at Trossard. He signed Trossard. Does he play all the time? No. Does... Who else? Tomiyasu was one of his signings. Do we see him when he's always fit? No. Do we see even Ben White gets dropped? Even Gabriel Magalhaes has been dropped. Thomas Partey has been dropped. So players will be dropped. The only certified undroppable players, unless they're injured, are Odegaard, Saka, and Ramsdale. Ramsdale potentially in the future, but right now they're the only 3 guarantees. I'd put Saliba in there, but I feel like with Saliba being a centre-back, it can be a little bit different. It's horses for courses and that. So they're the only 3 players I can guarantee you right now they will definitely start tomorrow unless they're injured.
I think it's Saliba. I think Ramsdale's a guaranteed starter right now. I think Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard.
I wouldn't say Martinelli is a guarantee.
There's 5. There's 5 guarantees. I think Martinelli is a guaranteed starter. I think Martinelli starts game in, game out. At this moment in time, he doesn't get dropped for nobody.
I don't think he's guaranteed. We know Saka's a bona fide guarantee.
Going into this game versus Fulham, people that I've already marked down as a guaranteed starter before the game has even kicked the ball is my man Martinelli is one of them.
No, I'm talking like who are the guarantees? Like not just for Fulham. I'm talking.
Like, no, but right now, right now, nobody in our team can displace Martinelli at this moment in time. He is earned his place.
Could potentially start over.
Come on, bro. If we're talking about,
I'm not talking tomorrow. I'm talking over the season. I can see Martinelli being dropped.
Left back fit. Zinchenko's the undroppable.
I disagree.
Okay. So how many places?
I think he can be. So I think he can be dropped.
You're saying we only have 5 undroppable players. Actually, you're saying we only have 4.
No, not even I didn't say Declan Rice. Declan Rice can be dropped.
So you're saying we only have 3?
Yes, I said Ramsdale for now. I think Ryan may displace him, but that becomes a different conversation. Martin Odegaard and Saka, they're the only bona fide I can bet my house on. They will definitely start, unless they're injured. That's the only premise I put on it.
So Martin Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, and thing.
I don't even think Saliba. I think Saliba could be, but I do think he's more like on the 95 to 99%. He will start all games.
Timber can replace Zinni. You're right.
No, not even him. I think Tomiyasu can, but not replace him. But what I mean is, for certain types of games, they can be played and they can be dropped.
So let's just do the lineup for tomorrow's game. So tomorrow's game, the players who are guaranteed to start: Rice is guaranteed to start. Odegaard is guaranteed to start. Saka is guaranteed to start. Martinelli is guaranteed to start. What you got? No point in arguing. He sounds deluded. No, he's not deluded, man. He's making his point.
No. All right, why? Like, rather than saying delusional, tell me why I'm deluded. I want to combat your point, but I want to see what you've got to say.
Who's guaranteed to start tomorrow at left back?
If Zinchenko's fit, it's going to be him. But that's the problem. I don't know how fit he is.
I feel like there's 5 decisions tomorrow that we don't know about. Can you see my team? There's 5 potential decisions we don't know about.
The only decision is whether Havertz plays left centre mid or up top, but he's definitely playing.
What about right back? It could be Partey or Ben White. That's the problem.
That's the difficulty, yeah, because I don't know what but I think if Zinchenko plays, then Partey won't play.
So should we just pencil in Havertz somewhere?
For me, I think he starts left centre mid. Personally, that's just how I see it.
I think people are going to lose their absolute shit if they see Partey out of the team and Declan Rice and Havertz and Eddie Nketiah.
I want them to. Please show me that.
That's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen.
Good. I'm happy.
I think it's going to be a situation where we're going to see people losing their mind again and meltdowns because you're going to have Eddie and Havertz in the squad, and you're not going to have Declan. You're not going to have Partey in the team.
Yeah, I'm glad people lose their minds. But you know what the funny thing is? They're going to lose their minds and not admit they were wrong.
Typical.
Gabriel Magalhaes didn't play 2 games. I've still not heard the apologies to Arteta. Yeah. Where's all these guys who lost their heads before the game?
Here's Tommy. He's late to the stream, but big up Tommy. He says, big up guys. Loaning Kieran Tierney is stupid. Selling Balogun makes no sense. If the manager doesn't start Trossard, he is really annoying. Partey right back is stupid. First things first. If Partey doesn't play, you're gonna be even more angry. Number 2, Trossard right now is an impact sub. Number 3, Balogun, we're getting 45 million, a record sale for the club. So understandably so, plus an add-on sell-on clause. So let the guy go play first team football somewhere else if he's not going to play third string for us. And Kieran Tierney on loan clearly just doesn't suit the style of play for the manager. Rice, Odegaard, Partey for the United game. Bro, if we play with that we could play any midfield versus United. We're destroying them.
That's what I mean. I don't rate their midfield at all.
My guy, big up to you for the super chat, bro. You're an absolute legend today. But I'm telling you, we could play any midfield versus United, and we absolutely bopped them off the pitch. Now, with everything being said, I've just tweeted out my thing. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys the tweet.
There is a comment I want to actually make a comment on. The Abodi Shifa.
You can click on it.
Oh yeah, I can actually. There we go. Yeah, so I actually don't disagree that this could be a possibility where Kibio plays left back and Partey plays right back. That's a pretty good possibility.
So I personally would have Partey, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, Zinchenko, and Havertz. I drop Eddie Nketiah. Is it unfair to say we should drop Eddie Nketiah in this game?
What was it? So you said Partey, Rice midfield with Havertz.
Partey, Rice midfield, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Ben White with Saliba in the defense, and up top Havertz. So Eddie Nketiah, you've been amazing, but you're getting dropped.
I disagree with that. I'd actually play Eddie.
Would you, people in the chat, who would you start up top? Because Gabriel Jesus might be back also, but he's not going to play.
I don't think he starts. I reckon he'll play like maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes just to kind of get ready for the... I think he starts against United though.
Okay, so the question is, who starts up top? Eddie or Kai Havertz versus Fulham?
It'll be Eddie.
It'll be Eddie? People saying Trossard, Saka up. Trossard's not going to start. I'm sorry, guys. Have you not realized some players are better as starters, some players are better at bench players. Eddie Nketiah is a better player when he starts the game than he is when he's a bench player. But guess what? when Jesus is around, Jesus is also one of those players who's better as a starter.
That's why this could happen just because Jesus is back. That's what I mean. You know, like before we'd know exactly what the scenarios are going to be. We've become predictable last season. This season, you know what it is? Even though I do think I'd say it's like 80% chances are Eddie starts, and it's about 15 to 20% of it is Trossard starts. Only because we've now got Jesus back, and Jesus is probably going to feature to some degree. Otherwise, they wouldn't be pumping out these training videos as much as they have. So I don't know. I can see the logic behind Trossard now.
Nelson? Is that Nelson? NES. Eddie Saka.
Is it Nelly Eddie Saka?
Okay, I don't know. Bro, Trossard was Brighton, was the main guy. Why sign him if you don't give him a bench warmer? Trust me.
Okay. The problem is, right, with the logic that a lot of fans have is they want Arteta to do what he's done every single season. Do you know what the problem is? You know, if Arteta listened to the fans, he's setting himself up for failure. And the reason why I say that is because Eddie, like we've been saying consistently on the channel, is a better player when he starts. Eddie off the bench is shit. Trossard starting or coming off the bench is good. That's the problem.
Okay, so I am going to fill this in. So right back, I'm putting Ben White. What are you doing?
In this game, I want to play Ben White right back.
Okay. I think people are going to be upset with the fact that I'm thinking about putting Kai Havertz up top. But Gabriel Magalhaes, I have him in there, and I have Zinchenko in there. So that's multiple players coming back from injury. Then next to Rice, Odegaard, you're putting Kai Havertz, right?
Yeah.
I am putting Ben White. I mean, I'm putting Partey. Sorry, what did I say? Ben White?
That would be wicked, isn't it, having two Ben Whites?
Yeah, I'm putting I'm putting what do you call it? Partey in there. Okay.
Fair enough.
And then up top, I'm putting Kai Havertz.
Oh yeah, I'm putting Balogun, of course. I'm joking.
Balogun's gone. By then he's already announced, I bet you.
I'll bring him back. No, I'm for real. I'm putting Eddie Nketiah.
So Kai Havertz gets his first game off the bench.
No, because he's playing my left centre mid.
So okay, so what I'm gonna do is
I'm telling you, Kai Havertz, right? People are gonna just have to realize he's not gonna get dropped. He's gonna play to some degree, whether it comes in for Bukayo Saka. He's just gonna play. That's the problem with Havertz, and I like it. I actually like the play. I think people give him too much stick.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tweet out the two teams that we've just done to see what people think. Okay, let me just.
And also, I can't wait. I'm collecting these apologies for Havertz real quick.
Why is that?
Bro, the guy's gonna bang, bro. The guy is gonna bang so much. With Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus coming back into this team, flipping helmet. I'm telling you, it's gonna be Havertz. It's gonna be Havertz's league.
You think so?
Easy with them two in this team. Yes.
Bro, that's a bold statement.
Bro, I'm telling you, the man is gonna light up the Premier League with them two in the team.
Okay. Enough about that. What do we think about Fulham, though? Are you worried about Fulham at all? Also, any comments? Let's see if there's any comments of note. Egal Potter. What is he talking about?
I don't know.
You think too much of Zinchenko. Zinchenko is one of the best left backs in this league. What do you mean? I think too much?
He's one of the best technicians in the league.
Bro, Zinchenko is one of the better left backs in this Premier League.
Bro, why do people hate? Do you know what? I can't wait. Okay, I'm collecting apologies for Zinchenko as well.
I think Zinchenko is one of the better left backs, and people are just hating on him at this point. It's crazy to me.
Oh, they hate because the problem is they know when it's Zinchenko comes back in, right? Arteta starts cooking. Arteta keeps his job. They don't. Do you know what it is? Arteta can win the quad and they still want him gone.
You think people are hating on Arteta?
Yes.
That bad?
Yes. Bro, Arteta can do whatever he wants. People are still going to hate him.
You know what? At what point do you put your
No.
pride?
The problem is people today.
Pride aside.
It's not. People just want to be right. The minute they can't be right, they will double down, triple down, quadruple down on their. The thing is, look, if Havertz doesn't bang, I will be the first on here to say I was wrong. But the problem is with a lot of these Arteta outers and a lot of the people who have an agenda against Arteta, all they'll do is pinpoint every single bad thing they've done rather than looking at, actually, yes, he did. No one's saying Zinchenko is perfect. Saliba's made mistakes as well. Gabriel Magalhaes has made mistakes as well. All of them have made mistakes. But guess who they want to isolate and say cost us the league? Zinchenko.
No,
why? Because it's fashionable to do that.
I don't think people hate on Arteta because and blame other players because of that. I think people just sometimes it's just people just want to vent on people, man. You just want to be angry at something. You want to blame somebody. You want to do something, scapegoat somebody. So it is what it is. He's good on that ball. He's really good on the ball. But hey, I think what he does, Zinchenko's the best at what he does as a left back. If I was to say Andrew Robertson, if you rate Andrew Robertson higher than Zinchenko at this moment in time, you don't know ball. Do you disagree?
I mean, Robertson's had a poor season, but they're too different. I wouldn't even compare the two.
Because he won the league and Champions League with Liverpool, he's always going to be rated higher. That's the problem. Anyways, I've now gotten the tweet ready. I've now got the tweet ready. So let's get to it. So these are our two teams. Done. I'm not worried about Fulham though. I think we're going to beat Fulham. Predictions on Fulham. We're going to get into that right now. We're about to end this.
We're home. We are home.
Yeah. So this is my team. You can see right there. This is what I'm doing. I'm playing, and I gave you the same back four also. I didn't put Partey in your team. Is that okay?
Yeah. Because that's correct. That's my banging team, bruv. That is sick. Yeah. Other than NK, I want Jesus back. But
so this is the difference between our team. You're playing Eddie up top and Kai Havertz. I'm going Declan Rice, Partey, and Havertz. So the real difference between our two teams is 3 players.
Hey, listen, if Havertz is playing, I'm happy.
Let's ask the people in the comment section, which team do you guys agree with more? My team, or do you agree with Souls' team? Let me know what you think. People saying Martinelli and Havertz, laughing. Eddie and Ketia also, ha ha ha. I don't know what's so funny.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to play?
So this is Souls' team. This is my team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm just gonna go to Fulham.
Look, I just want to say one thing to the comments. Regardless, we're winning. Who the fuck cares? Who the actual fuck cares? We're gonna win anyway.
What's your score prediction,
bro? We're at home. We like to.
They're missing the captain also. Tim Reed had a red card in the last game. Willian is out injured. They're missing 2 massive pieces to their team. Their team.
But Paulina is back, by the way. Oh, I've heard he is back.
Paulina is back. Don't worry. Paulina, Reed, Pereira midfield is fine. They have that Bozo Izadi up in the defense. Leno's just gonna let us pass a couple past him. It's fine. And Joao Jimenez is still scarred from, unfortunately, when he got the head injury against Arsenal. I don't think he ever bounced back from that. So for me, I'm not worried about that team. What are you saying? What's your prediction? Because
I'm gonna stick with what I've always felt. 3-0.
3-0. Score predictions. Score predictions, guys. Score predictions in the chat. Let me know. 3-0. People are saying, bro, we're gonna smash them. We are absolutely going to smash Fulham. Fulham will not taste possession. They will not touch the ball. They are going to get destroyed. Last year, they were lucky the game ended only 2-1. We should have scored way more. We shouldn't have been like that. I'm saying we're going to win. It's going to be, we beat them 4-1 back in 2019. This time we're going to beat them 4-0. We're going to smash them. Fulham, be prepared. You're facing the Arsenal that's going for the title. We're going to show everyone in the league tomorrow what we're made of. We're going to smash you guys 4-0. We're going to take those 3 points in the bag, and we're going to be resting some of our players at halftime. That's how confident I am going into this game. If the opposite happens, you guys can clip this up and post it wherever you want to do and laugh at us. It's fine. But at the end of the day, I genuinely believe we're going to destroy Fulham tomorrow. Anyone in the comment section disagree? Let me know. Because against the Crystal Palace game, I was one of the only people sitting here saying, you know what? Crystal Palace away from home, it's scary. You said 5-0. I told you it's going to be a tight game.
It happens, man. It happens. We won the game. That's all I care. And the ref tried to rob us. It could have been 5-0.
Yeah. You know what? Look, same mans who are celebrating against Luton, dancing, are telling me, relax, it's Fulham.
Oh, he's a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. I think
Oh, it
so.
makes sense, man. The man are obsessed with Mount and Havertz. Man, let your exes go, fam.
Let them go. Let them breathe. You got to let them breathe. 2-2, 3 into the 4-4. I don't know if you guys know that song. Breathe. Anyways, I'm out of here, people. Souls, you got anything else to say before we go?
I'm going to enjoy the win tomorrow. And yeah, everyone have a good bank holiday weekend.
There you go. We'll be back tomorrow post-match, an hour after the game as usual. What time's the game tomorrow?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. So is there any evening games? Let's see.
Yes, there will be a 5:30 game.
If the half-5 game is a big game, then Brighton, West Ham. You know what? We'll be live around the same time during the Brighton West Ham game. Unfortunately, that's when we're gonna be live. But if you guys want to, make sure you tune in though, because we'll be live around that time, like around 5 o'clock. We'll be live. The game's gonna end what? 4 or 5 o'clock? No, 4:30. So yeah, something like that. We'll keep you guys tuned in. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Big up everyone in the comment section. You guys have yourself a great day. Ahmed said, "Are you mad?" He said, "Who said I'm a Chelsea fan?" I said you're a Chelsea fan. If you're not, tell me who you support. Okay. Anyways, we're out of here, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Playing 3D chess against some people. Arteta's 5D chess overcomplicating FC. You know what? That's a good thing. No one needs to know what we're gonna do. No, even the fans don't know. Anyways, we're out of here, people. Love for the love. You guys already know what it is. And let's get it on. Mask off.